Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Dragon's Dogma 2 and we're doing another ranking video, and today is for the Magick Bows. Yes, that's in fact true. For the magic archers and of course warfare vocations, this is your weapon of choice. So just like all of our ranking videos, it's going to be based on stats. I'll talk about appearance and stuff like that, but it doesn't actually affect the ranking. Those are just my opinions. But before we get into the ranking, I just want to say, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, why not? Especially if you're a return viewer, or, you know, whatever the case may be, if you're entertained by the video, or informed by it, or maybe if it helped cure your cancer. If any of those things are true, click on that subscribe button. Help me get over this 80,000 hump up to the 100,000 hump. It's a much better hump to be on. And if you're gonna hump, you gotta pick the right one. So, with all that being said, now that I've done my little sales pitch, let's dive on into the video. And so, starting us off at number 10, we have the Magian Crutch. A copper magical bow, forgiving even for budding archers. A unique shaping process has amplified its power. Stats on this one are strength of 0, magic of 223, slash strength of 0, strike strength of 100, knockdown power of 124, giving it a composite score of 89.4. As far as stats to be considered before we go into any other discussions in this video, keep in mind, my player is I believe level 127, so those stats you see over on the right are not going to be reflective of lower levels. A big chunk of that is just my player's level, so that's why I'm reading off the stats just for the weapon. And also keep in mind, every weapon we're going to be showing today are going to be leveled all the way up to the Dragon Forged level, or level 4 upgrade. So if you have a level 1 one, it will not represent the same damage as a level 4 one. But despite any differences like that, as long as all things considered equal, if all these were at level 1, the ranking would still be the same. So this one would still be at number 10 if we were doing them all at level 1. I just like to do it for max potential. So with all that being said, the Magian Crutch I think looks pretty cool. It probably looks the most like a traditional real bow out of all of the ones on this list. It's got wood limbs and the right curves, and it doesn't look overly ridiculous in any way, shape, and or form. So aesthetically speaking, it's probably my favorite one out of all of them. I definitely like it a lot. So that is the Magian, depending how it's actually pronounced, Crutch, at number 10. At number 9, we have the Terminal Gyre, a magical bow wrought of specially refined metal designed to shape every last ounce of the wielder's magic into arrows. Strength on this one is, stats on this one is strength of 0, magic at 285, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 150 for knockdown power, giving us a composite score of 107, so a pretty decent jump above the last. As far as appearances on this one go, I definitely don't like it as much as the last one, but that's probably going to be true for all of the ones on this list. It still looks like a bow, you know, it's shaped in the same rough shape, but, you know, that's about it. It's got an interesting handguard thing going on, and definitely a lot of sparkly, flashy fanciness to it, so it's not like it's ugly or anything, but, you know, not my personal favoritist thing. But stat-wise, it is better, so that's why it's at the number 9 spot. Then at number 8, we have the Gimbal Gyre, a magical bow adorned with sheets of wound copper. Supplements its wielder's magic to strengthen and stabilize arrows loosed. Stats for this one are 0 for strength, 327 for magic, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 150 for knockdown power, giving it a composite score of 115.4. So again, just a little bit better than the last one, and we get a little bit further from a traditional bow design, because this one, it looks a lot like the last one, but it has a bunch of extra stuff on it. So instead of the little cup guard thing for the knuckles that the last one had, this one's got several big strips of copper that really cover up most of the weapon. So again, it's not like it's offensive to look at, but it definitely doesn't do anything aesthetically pleasing, at least not for me. It does have lots of fancy particulates though. So that's the Gimbal Gyre. At number 8, let's move on to number 7. At number 7, I believe it's pronounced the Scio CAD, a magical bow that resembles a pair of alabaster birds in flight, possessed of an unthawing ice enchant. As far as stats on this one go, we have strength of 0, 352 for magic, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 146 for knockdown power, giving it a composite score of 119.6. This one's just slightly above the last one stat-wise, and it does have a slight edge of having that debilitating debilitating ice ability, so it's great for freezing enemies, and it's particularly strong against enemies that are weak towards ice, like dragons. As far as appearances, it's cooler looking than the last two that we looked at. I like the thinner, more, I guess, bow-like design of it. It is interesting in the way that it's got like a handle on the inside, and you can see that the two birds that make up the limbs don't actually touch each other. So, I mean, there isn't actually any physical draw on it because it doesn't have a real string and you're not firing real arrows, but that would be a particularly weak design, or at least based on the angles and all that sort of stuff, the way it looks for a real bow. But as a magical bow, it looks pretty cool. So the Scio CAD, like I said, I believe is how you pronounce that, takes the number 7 spot. At number 6, we have metered catharsis, a magical bow with an intricate design resembling a double helix, especially effective against humanoid foes. Stats on this one are 0 for strength, 393 for magic, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 188 for knockdown power, giving it a composite score of 136.2. I think this one looks pretty interesting. It obviously doesn't look much like a bow, but the double helix design is pretty cool, so they were going for a DNA type thing, and it makes it very effective against all humanoid foes, so any of the people-like things that you're going to come up against, which includes goblins and all that sort of stuff, it's going to be more powerful against than any other type of foes. So, pretty useful, and stats obviously are pretty dang good. Appearances are interesting, to say the least, so that's metered catharsis at number 6. Then coming in at the halfway point at number 5, we have Herald's Helix, a magical bow formed of 2 woven metals. Though some may be put off by its elaborate design, its power and deadly accuracy cannot be overstated. This bow has stats of 0 for strength, 457 for a magic, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 201 for knockdown power. So that gives it a composite score of 151.6. So quite good, obviously very powerful considering it comes in at the number 5 spot. I like the way this one looks. It's got the silver and gold twistiness to it. I like how the last one was called Metered Catharsis and it was shaped like a double helix. This one's called Herald's Helix and it's not shaped like that. So I don't know. Maybe they got their wires crossed. But whatever the case is, I think this one looks all right. It's a lot like the Scio CAD one. That one was glowing in blue. This one just looks like it's made out of metal and has the thing wrapped around it. But otherwise, the design is exactly the same. So that's Herald's Helix, which takes the number 5 spot. Then at number 4, we have Dragon's Breath, a bow worthy of its namesake, infused with the magic of a dragon's own breath. Stats on this one are 0 for strength, 519 for magic, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 175 for knockdown power, giving it a composite score of 158.8. I can tell you where to get this one. This one you purchase from the Dragon Forged, either in the end game or in your New Game Plus, using Worm Life crystals. So that's where you can get this one. It's always nice when you come across one of these type of weapons because I can actually tell you where to find it because I can actually remember. As far as looks on this one also looks a lot more like a regular bow. Now obviously it's got a bunch of spikes on it that would probably not be great for a string, but considering magic isn't cut like flax is, this should work quite well. It looks pretty cool. I like it. I don't have much to complain about with this one. If you're going for a weapon that looks kind of dragony, I think this one works quite well for that. And obviously stats are quite good, putting it at the number 4 spot. At number 3, we have the Militant Dove, a very elfish magical looking one. This one says a magical bow made of wood from a sacred tree. Its wielder takes more damage from attacks, but steadily restores health when standing still. This one has stats of 0 for strength, 510 for magic, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 210 for knockdown power, giving it a composite score of 164. So the perk for this one, like we said, you do unfortunately take more damage when you're attacked, but your health will regenerate when you stand still. So it's useful for that, so you don't have to use a curative for like light battles where you just take a little bit of damage, but keep in mind you will take more damage from attack. So it's definitely a balancing act. I like to just, not take damage. That's my general strategy. Get good, some might say. As far as appearances, I like this one. It reminds me of, I can't remember what the species was, but the aliens from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, the planet that the Kree don't like. I can't remember what they're called, but their ships kind of look like this bow with the like star design. So pretty interesting. I like the way this one looks. It's obviously not much like a real bow, but it is very cool and feels very magical. So that's the Militant Dove at number 3. Our runner-up at number 2 is another one that I like the appearance of, the Blackwing Bow, a magical bow styled after a devil's claws, said to instill the wielder with a passion for hunting. For stats on this one, we have 0 for strength, 575 for magic, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 268 for knockdown power, giving it a composite score of 188.6. So very powerful and pretty cool looking. Like I said, I like this one. It's got a recurved design to it. It is kind of claw-ish looking, so yeah, it's got some sketch vibes to it as far as goodness goes. But we do get our cool particulates of magic, and it has a regular shape, so I like this one. Gets top marks for me. So that's Blackwing Bow at number 2. And then, of course, our number 1 bestest one, the GrienMahar. GrienMahar? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. A magical bow of immaculate make. The twin dragon heads that adorn it are eerily lifelike, especially effective against the draconic species. Stats for this one are 0 for strength, 618 for magic, 0 for slash strength, 100 for strike strength, and 268 for knockdown power, giving it a composite score of 197.2, so almost 200. This one is obviously the best one. Stat-wise, it stands above the rest pretty easily. Appearance-wise, it's also pretty cool. It's got, you know, a dragon on either side, comes together with a hole in the center to shoot your magic out of. It's always fun to shoot your magic out of a hole. So I like this one. It's very dragon-y, and we're playing a game about dragons, so that fits. So that is our number 1 best magic bow, and that's all 10 of our top 10. If there are any that I missed that I didn't include, if I ranked any too high or too low, definitely share those very vivid opinions with me down in the comment section below. But in any case, thanks a ton for watching, and have a nice day. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.